Hey, this is Mark, Greens Room Calls. I've had a few folks ask me to do a tutorial on the owl hooters. So I'm going to do one kind of quick here. I'm kind of pressed for time today and won't be able to do it outside. But to give you an idea of the function and the airflow and the back pressure and all that. Back pressure on the owl hooter is a big thing. I designed these, it took me about 3 years to get the design down and correct to where I wanted it. What I saw in the past with owl hooters is you have one or two things. One, you have an owl hooter that sounds really, really good, sounds like an owl, but it's not very loud. And my idea is you're trying to shock a bird into gobbling with it. Or you get the second kind of owl hooter that is really, really loud and the realism is lost because of the volume of it. So I tried to design something that sounded real, but it had more volume. So, and I think it has all the range that you need in an owl hooter. So, what I went with, it's just a little under 6 inches long. Has the exhaust hole in the bottom. Has a single exhaust hole, and mess around with different sizes of it, and I found that this worked best for my call. But I will show you the airflow and what you need in this. First of all, with it, just like most air operated calls, whether it's duck call, goose call, or whatever, you're not blowing it like you're blowing out candles. You're not going, okay? The air in this is coming from here, so it's more of a huff. All right. The other thing with it is you plant your tongue, like most air operated calls, behind your teeth in the soft spot at the bottom part of your teeth, just down below the teeth. So you've got an airflow where you're cutting that airflow off with the arch of your tongue or your throat. You're like, again, you're not blowing it out like candles, okay? So if you ever lift your tongue up blowing the call, you know it's in the wrong spot. So, and that takes a little bit to get used to, but so the airflow with this, I'll show you without any kind of back pressure. That's what you're going to get with no back pressure. But you notice my cheeks aren't puffing out. Now I'm going to kind of go back on that when we come to the laugh on the call. But I will show you where that needs to be. I'll just do a constant airflow in the call, and then I will cut my hands on it to give it the back pressure. Okay, so you can see the difference in there. It's the same airflow. All right, so make a C with your hand or circle with your hand, okay sign, whatever you want to call it, around the bottom of the call. So you will bring that hand in. This hand goes over this. You're not sitting here going, you're not doing a bunch of crazy stuff with your hands because you want to create the back pressure. So hand around the call. This hand cups around it. Okay, so that's where you get your back pressure from. And I'll just blow the quick first part of the notes of the owl. All right, so it's just, all right. So, and you also notice you'll get a roll in there. Again, if you lift your tongue up, you're doing it incorrectly. You'll get, which you'll see is not the correct sound with it. This is not an easy thing to do. You roll with your throat. It's almost like you're clearing your throat. All right, you can feel the little hanging down thing, glottis or epiglottis in the back of your throat start to flutter. All right, it's like a speed bag back there. All right, so there's that there. That is the hardest part to get down. I don't know how important it is. I don't think a turkey's going to say, hey, man, he didn't roll. I'm not going to gobble. So the other thing that you hear in the call is the front part of what I call the scream on an owl call. So you're basically letting off of the back pressure. All right, and sometimes that's all you need to get him to gobble. The other thing that you hear is what I call the laugh in the owl hooter itself. All right, So there's where I said I was going to kind of retract what I said before. It's not like blowing out candles. You are kind of puffing your cheeks out, and you're going. All right, and while you're doing that, all right, you can get the lower or you can get the higher end of it, and it's kind of a timing thing. All right, so that's kind of a quick tutorial on it. It does take a little bit of time. Again, what I tell most folks is once you figure out where your back pressure and your hand position needs to be, and then get the notes of the owl, you'll kind of get it down. And just like turkey calling, any kind of calling, I'll tell folks, if you can find some videos on YouTube as far as live owls, same way with live turkeys. I always suggest to folks, listen to live critters, no matter what it is you're calling, not your buddy down the street. He may be the best caller in the world, but if you listen to live birds, live animals, any kind, you'll get their tone and their cadence down and help you develop better calling skills. So I hope this helps out. Just give me a shout if you have any questions. I'll be glad to talk to you. Thanks a lot.